So I decided to learn Captain America starting in Season 7.0, and with the end of Season 0.5 coming here, I wanted to recap what I learned and how good I thought he was. This is all post-game VOD review, and I'll be showing how I went from Gold to GM in like less than a week, I believe. This is not pro-professional play Captain America, this is pure fundamentals, and I just wanted to recap how easy it is. At first I thought it would be pretty intimidating, and the more I learned, the more I thought that this is super easy and not difficult what I'm doing, and I think that people should know about it. So now that they got rid of animation cancel, there was only ever really one combo that I ever used. I always initiated with left bumper shield throw, and then slam down with right trigger or the diving strike. And let me tell you, it did not get much kills. I always used it to initiate because it just scared the supports or the DPS I was changing. It made them react, it made them use cooldowns, and it overall just gave me a lot of value. Like every dive, you want to start from an off angle or completely behind the supports. Unlike those assassin dive characters though, you won't get the kill most of the time. I got a lot of value from Captain America by simply being able to stay alive and be in the face of the supports and DPS. Getting that leap is really the primary thing that you want to do. It's a minor CC pop-up and it's a real killer scare to supports. The good and bad part of it is that it puts you within melee range, right in their face. So you'll definitely get them to react and you'll definitely get your damage off, but now the damage on them is not that huge and you're in a pretty prime position to get peeled on and for them to do some damage to you. I don't know exactly what rank people started to peel more, but I do know that I got away with right triggering on top of people a lot, that dive strike on top of people. You'll see in this VOD that I don't always left bumper into right trigger, sometimes I just pop them up with the right trigger, or sometimes I use left bumper as a projectile. I honestly love throwing left bumper as a projectile. It gets you that final hit if they're a distance away or use a dash, and it reveals where Invisible Woman is if she's invisible. I also found myself just shield throwing in neutral as an initiator all the time. It's got a 6-second cooldown, which really feels like nothing when you're running around like a crazy person as Cap. The real killer is the 12-second cooldown on the diving strike. So think about it like you get 2 shield throws per 1 diving strike. So I would throw it out in neutral and then I would also save it for an initiator when I'm diving on top of somebody. I've talked about how great the shield throw and the diving strike is, but now we should probably get into his regular primary, or his melee range. So after 2 melees, you get 4 free shield throws. They are great for the same things that shield throw is great for, revealing where enemies are and that extra range that Captain America desperately needs. Now those shield throws from the melee range might be where you're able to get your final hits and damage from because they bounce back to you. Really, I use it as a chase option once they're out of my melee range because they're probably going to use a cooldown ability like a dash or a bubble. Now you might be thinking that's where you should use the shield bash ability where you hold your shield and dash towards the enemy. I believe that is how they initially wanted you to use Captain America, but sadly committing that hard with both of your movement options is a really tough position to put you in. Now I may be severely underrating that shield bash ability, but I permanently save it just to get out of my initiation and my dive. The only times I really use it offensively is when I am hard committing to a dive and I see a kill that I desperately want and 100% believe that I can get. Now I really vary from how I use my shield to actually block damage and block abilities. Against characters like Luna Snow or Gambit who have really good offensive options, I always initiate with shield throw and right trigger, but I hold my shield up to bait those abilities out. It is very common and pretty straightforward that when you get dived, they use their offensive abilities on you. It's kind of just the logical thing to do to fight back, but it's easy to bait out with a character like Captain America who has this giant shield. Sadly, the reflection is random, but it is just a good way to bait those abilities out, and that way you're able to hard commit and maybe use your shield bash after they use those abilities. But really, I save the shield bash ability just for the movement and to be able to get out of interactions, or to chase down a kill after my team's already killed 2 or 3 and I can use that shield bash safely. And honestly, I'm kind of struggling of other tips and tricks I can give you with Cap's moveset. So to recap, I just shield throw in neutral to try to locate enemies, and then I shield throw and diving strike on top of them to initiate my dive. The melees may be instinctual for me, but usually I melee twice, and then when they use their movement abilities, I try to track them with the auto shield throws. Last but not least, I use the shield bash option primarily as a means to get out of an interaction and escape from a dive that I've committed too hard on. The only other time I use shield bash is to hard commit when I see that we've already killed 2 or 3 of the enemies and I can hard commit on a dive. Now I'll be talking about bans and matchups that I found for Captain America and kind of what I discovered and found to be the hardest matchups. My first ban and my priority ban, if I'm not getting anything else, I am always banning Penny. You'll see in this video, Penny is a non-starter. It's probably the hardest counter for any playstyle of Cap. You're pretty much guaranteed one support or just Penny herself being in her nest, so pretty much impossible to kill with Captain America's damage output. You could potentially have 0 interaction if the nest is played right. Penny could stand in front of her nest. Both supports could just heal each other on top of the nest. Captain America has the ability to not play around it and simply attack people outside of it, and he has the movement to get close to it. The sad part is that the punches take too long to break the nest. It is a very hard committal option that'll probably knock you down to half health. At the very least, it'll take 200 health from you. Like with other dives, you may be thinking the next ban is Emma or Thing. Personally, I believe that that is a trap that you should not step onto. I have played against a lot of Emma Frosts, and she is the true hard counter. When she get grabbed, it's GG's. Almost a guaranteed death every time. But there is a huge workaround. Just don't get grabbed. Now, I'm not just saying it's a skill issue. There are ways to learn from it and learn how to get away from it. And that is to learn the noise around Diamond Form. When Emma initiates Diamond Form, it's a huge noise that you can't miss. Once you hear that noise and remember what it sounds like, just use your shield bash ability to get away from her. Learn to bait out Diamond Form and hard engage after it's gone. You might be able to visually see that she's out of it once you're jumping away. Thing, I would say, is a medium counter. He can and will use all his cooldowns and ult on you. In fact, the only time I see tenacity affect me is when there is a Thing that uses all his abilities on me. Thing has the amazing ability to fully peel from any position he's in, even if he's at the front line. He can leap back and kill you quick if you're not careful. That being said, I did what I love to call just walk away. A lot of times when someone is chasing you, they don't have the damage to kill Cap or even get him low at all, and I can just safely walk away from the interaction. Thing has that really good grounded ability where he's able to slow you down and possibly make you stop leaping and jumping around. But the drawback with Thing is that since he's a huge target, you can leap back to your team and they have the damage to output onto him and hit him since he's such a big target. If a Thing dives me, then I leap back to my backline. The only time that I truly ask for support and heals from them. Because with the Thing diving you and hard committing to killing you, and you going back to your team, your healers are able to heal you and attack Thing at the same time, and he draws so much attention because of his huge hitbox. So just as a recap, they're not bad bans. Emma and Thing are okay bans. I do not prioritize them because I do not have a problem with them, but my Iron Fist or Black Panther might if they're diving too, but I don't personally throw that in because I think I can deal with it. Now, as a DPS player, you may be thinking, when I see a Cap, I immediately switch to Namor and Scarlet. I found that that too is a trap that you should not step onto. I think they are only soft counters. Namor and Scarlet do not have the burst damage to kill a diving Captain America. Instead, what they are doing is being annoying to Captain America, who has the great movement ability to get out of that interaction and instead go for a health pack. They do not have the hard CC to stop them from diving on their supports. In fact, they just annoy the Captain America who can still fully dive the supports. They make me play a bit safer, but they do not stop my game plan. So sometimes I was still able to secure the kill, I just had to play it a bit more patient. By that, I mean I got health packs, made them chase me, but since I have the movement ability that they don't have, I was able to get out of the interaction and dive back onto the supports when they didn't expect it. Plus, if they are just staying on the supports, that means they aren't pressuring the front line and that they are perma looking for me around corners. So now I have the DPS and supports playing safe, looking for me, and saving their cooldowns for me, so they're not able to push up and put pressure on the front line. So now that I got the trap bans out of the way, I'll get into my real bans, which are pretty straightforward. I always banned one of Invis, Gambit, or Cloak. Dealing with all of their cooldown management was a little too hard, and I think all three have the movement to keep Cap out or away. I usually do Cloak or Gambit since Cloak has a high pick rate, and a way to deal with Cap is built into the kit and easier to play against. By switching to Cloak and damaging, it really puts the onus on you to know where your health packs are and make sure you're interacting in a safe way. Plus, if they're standing on a bubble, they're damaging and you're not able to get any damage off of them. Gambit's dashes are the only thing that completely confused me in my tracking. Now that might be purely on me, but I felt like his damage really hurt and I could not find him when he dashed away from me. Plus, I don't even have to bring out how crazy his ult is. I found out later on that I should ban Daredevil or Black Panther. It may be weird to think about it, because you're playing Captain America, so why would you ban another dive? And I did it purely for my supports and DPS. They could not play when the enemy also ran a coordinated dive against my team. Cap is not good for peeling, especially against a Mr. Fantastic or Black Panther. I got to pop them up, but the damage is just not there, and it's hard to track those dive characters with good movement abilities. So now I'll get into more about the theory of how you should play Captain America. Like any dive character, you want to focus on the supports. Hard focus the supports, make them peel, and I think Cap has the best movement to escape. You're not a true hard counter to any support. The only support I felt good into playing was Luna Snow, because of her cooldowns, the freeze ability being easy to bait out, and her not being able to run away as quick unless she hard commits to running away. Also with any dive, you're going to want to think about hard engage and soft engages. Hard engage is usually when you have your ult and you're hard committing to a kill and you're using all your abilities and you're just perma running at the same person trying to secure that final hit. Captain America has a lot of soft engages where you're running towards a health pack after you take 100 or 200 damage. So I pop them up with my shield throw and my diving strike, and while they use cooldowns and abilities to try to attack or get away from me, I just put my head down and use my movement ability to get a health pack. After healing up somehow, I go back onto the backline with my shield throw and I'm just punching at the supports, and most likely they don't have their other cooldown available. Now your target could also be that Moon Knight that I was chasing around, or a Bucky that's really carrying, or a Psylocke that's just playing off angle and that you're able to shield throw and find their invisibility. You also super soft engage if you find that they go Emma Thing, Namor Scarlet, and they start hella peeling for you. Maybe you don't wait to take all that damage, you just diving strike in, you see them peel, and you immediately run away. You might find that your best ability is tilting them by engaging on their supports, and their tanks not being healed, and the tanks complaining about not getting healed, and then the supports complaining that they aren't getting peel from their tanks. My final and premier advice is to not die. I found that under 3 deaths is amazing Cap gameplay. Stats do not tell the whole story of the game. Your damage will be low, and it should be low. You might have less damage than the supports, but as long as you have a good amount of final hits and less deaths, you were probably so annoying to their backline. This sadly also means you might not get MVP that often, and that's okay. Do not have an ego about chasing deaths, or that you are annoying their backline so much that your DPS is getting MVPs when you deserve it. I did not care about any of that. I was purely just annoying the backline and hoping that they switch to peel and don't harass my front line. The rule is pretty simple. If your healers are dying more, then you don't have enough heals. If your DPS is dying more, then you didn't have enough damage. If your tanks are dead, then the whole world falls apart and your movement kind of stops. Captain America with his health pool and movement really should not die that often unless he's being hard countered or hard focused. So how do you not die? Well, you have to have your routes planned out. You really need to learn every map and their health pack, but I was learning along the way and you can see it in my gameplay. Weirdly enough, I found Captain America very good on the defensive side of points because I was able to locate the health packs and think about my routes before the offense started. By playing defense, you're able to see where your health packs are, so that when you engage, you can run back to your health pack, and if they chase you, they're at an off angle and your DPS and supports might be able to easily pick them off while they're chasing you. So you can see it here in this gameplay where I immediately touch point, I take a page out of the Black Panther's book, I make them peel, and because I have so much health, it takes so long to kill me, it's so hard to track Captain America while he's playing the air game, and my DPS and supports are able to rack up the kills. Even if your team isn't getting the kills, it's the best thing as Cap to make it a 5v4. It's the best thing that you can do, and it's the greatest way to get value. So that was just my general rule of thumb video for Captain America. I wanted to do more commentary over gameplay, but maybe I'll do that next time. And yeah, stay tuned. Probably more to come when I have some stream highlights and I can show off some more Cap gameplay.